All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the October edition of Microsoft Office 365 Tips and Tricks brought to you by the Marks Group. This month, we're going to be talking about the following 3 tips. First one is quick but really helpful, and it saved me a lot of time, and I hope it saves you time too. It's pinning files to your taskbar. So I know that sounds like not a huge tip, but like I said, it's actually been really helpful for me, and so I think a lot of people could benefit from that. Second, we are going to be hiding those super annoying page break lines in Excel. I will show you what I mean with that in a minute. Really hard to find the actual button to make that go away, so we will talk about that as well. And then finally, we're going to set up external guest access for Microsoft Teams. You do that from the admin portal in Office 365 online on portal.office.com. So we'll touch on that more in a few minutes. So first of all, pinning files to taskbar. Like I said, this will take 2 seconds for you guys to learn. So all you need to do literally is right-click on the icon of the program that you want to pin a file to. I've got a million files here in my Excel thumbnail. I have this access information file pinned. I can pin any of these as well. It's really easy. You just click that button, and that's it. To unpin it, you unclick it. Otherwise, this displays, I think it's, what, 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's 10 or 11 most recent files here, just so you know. So, yep, that was that. So that's it for pinning files to your taskbar. This can be done for Microsoft Word. Oops, sorry guys. Microsoft Excel. Can't be done for OneNote. So just play around with that. I think it can be done for multiple Microsoft programs. So just something to keep in mind there. Okay, moving on to hiding those annoying page break lines in Excel. I'm talking about if you have ever went to zoom out here and accidentally clicked this button, page break preview, and then when you go back into your worksheet here, you see the dashed lines. That is what I'm talking about when I say page break view. So we're going to take these away. It is not obvious. You click on this file button here up in the upper left, and then we're going to click on options, and then advanced, and then we're going to scroll about 2/3 of the way down the list. There are a lot of options here. And then we see this Show Page Breaks button here. We just uncheck that, click OK, and you are good to go, back in action. And I think if you even clicked this again, now that we've unchecked that box, they won't appear again. So just something to keep in mind as you're working through Excel. So like I said, these 2 first tips were really easy. We're already blasting through this. So setting up external guest access for Microsoft Teams, that's what we really want to talk about today. So to do that, we would head over into portal.office.com and then click on the Admin Center. If you don't see the admin tile and you can't find it, you might not be an admin and you might have to ask to get permissions for that. But yeah, so to turn on guest access or external access for Microsoft Teams, head over to the Admin Center, click on this Settings button here, and then Services and Add-ins is what we want to check. Okay, so then we'll scroll down and find Microsoft Teams in this list. So we'll click on that. And then we're going to check out settings by user or license type. This, again, the design of this is not awesome. They could have done this a little bit more logically. So to enable guest access, you actually want to click on this drop down, change it to guest, and then I do have it enabled, but for most people this would be disabled like this. To enable it, you just click on this toggle one time, and that turns it on, and then you would save. And that's all you need to do. Then we would head into, we'll head into Microsoft Teams so we can see how you would add an external user to a channel. So to do that, we would find our channel here, or our team rather, and then we would add members. So click on that. So here is where one of the caveats comes into play. You can only have an external or guest user join in Teams if they have a .onmicrosoft.com account or an existing work or school account. They don't all necessarily need that .onmicrosoft.com portion, but yeah, so they need to have a work or school account in Office 365. It does mention that here as well. And then there's additional information online about this. So this is not a real, oops. Obviously this is not a real login. I just wanted to show so you would add the user's email like that, their Microsoft email address there, the on Microsoft, and then to edit their name, you would click on that little pencil there and type in their name like so. Then you click the check button, and then they would be good to go. So I'm not going to actually click add because that's not a real email, but if you did click that, they would receive an email invitation linking to this with instructions to install Teams, I believe, as well. So that is how you add users to a team to edit their permissions. They don't have very many options for this yet, but they do have a few. So to edit the permissions for guest users, you would click on the team that they're added to and then click Manage Team. And then you would click the Settings tab here. And then Guest Permissions. So you can toggle on or off if they can create or update channels or allow guests, or if they can delete channels. Probably want to leave this unchecked most of the time, but you know, different situations call for different permissions, so update that as you may. The only other thing I wanted to mention while we're here in Teams, so that's it for guest access. Otherwise, the guests they're basically just treated like any other user in Teams. But I just wanted to remind everybody that to access release notes, because they have been adding some interesting release notes or interesting features, and they've been changing some things around. To do that, you click on chat and then Tbot. Everybody should have access to this Tbot chat thing button here, and then you would click the release notes tab. I don't know why they tucked it away in this way, but they did. So that is where you find the release notes. As I mentioned, there's actually a decent bit of information here, and they have been adding quite a few features recently, so it's worth checking out for sure. So yeah, that's actually it for us today. So let me know if you have any questions at all by emailing me at megan@marksgroup.net. I would be happy to answer them. And otherwise, I hope you found this informative, and I will see you guys all next week for more Office 365 tips. I think next month we're going to be talking about OneNote and Teams again primarily, so stay tuned for that. And otherwise, happy Halloween. And yeah, thanks so much for joining. Hope you found this informative. All right, have a good one, guys.